Africa's history is filled with powerful leaders, some loved, some feared, who shaped their countries in bold ways. But unfortunately, some of these leaders were killed while still in power, either through coups, revolts, or political betrayal. With the wave of independence sweeping across African nations in the late 50s into the early 80s, so many deadly conflicts about leadership arose. In this video, we're looking at 10 African leaders who were assassinated while in office between the 60s and early 21st century. Let's dive in, starting from the earliest to the most recent. We start with Félix Roland Moumié. Though not officially a president, Moumié was a powerful independence leader in Cameroon. While in Geneva, he was poisoned with thallium by an agent of the SDCE, French Secret Service, on 3 November 1960, following official independence from France earlier that year. France wanted to silence his anti-colonial voice. His death showed how far colonial powers would go to keep their hold on Africa. Second on the list is Patrice Lumumba. He was Congo's first prime minister after independence from Belgium in 1960. He spoke strongly against colonialism and foreign influence, but he served for barely 3 months before he was deposed and assassinated. Owing to his strong political ideologies, the Belgian and US governments regarded Lumumba as communist, anti-white, and anti-Western, leading to his removal and arrest on January 17, 1961. He and his 2 associates were beaten and executed by a firing squad under the supervision of Belgian mercenaries. Although their bodies were initially thrown into shallow graves, they were later dug up under the direction of Belgian officers, hacked into pieces, and dissolved in acid or burned by fire. Lumumba's gold-crowned tooth, his only known remains, was reportedly taken by one of the Belgian officers, Gerard Sout, who oversaw and participated in the destruction of the remains. The gold-crowned tooth was returned to Lumumba's family in Congo in June 2022. Lumumba's death caused a scandal throughout Africa and beyond. Retrospectively, even his enemies proclaimed him a national hero.
Next is Anwar Sadat. Anwar Sadat was an Egyptian military officer who served as the 3rd president of Egypt. He shocked the world on the 26th of March 1979 when he signed a peace treaty with Israel. But Sadat's treaty with Israel enraged Islamists, particularly the radical Egyptian Islamic Jihad, who opposed any form of peace with Israel. On 6 October 1981, Sadat was assassinated during the annual victory parade held in Cairo to celebrate Egypt's crossing of the Suez Canal. Al-Islam emptied his assault rifle into Sadat's body while in front of the grandstand, mortally wounding the president. Sadat's assassination sent shockwaves across the region. Number 4 on the list is Thomas Sankara, often called Africa's Che Guevara. He became president of Burkina Faso in 1983 at the age of 33 and was all about African pride, self-reliance, and saying no to foreign control. He made big reforms like encouraging women's rights and fighting corruption, but not everyone liked his ideas. Sankara was assassinated on October 15, 1987, along with 12 comrades with whom he was meeting. His body was riddled with 20 bullets by assassins acting under the supervision and support of the governments of France and Ivory Coast. Eventually, in April 2021, Blaise Compaoré, who took over after Sankara's assassination, and who also happened to be Sankara's right-hand man and ally, was found guilty of Sankara's murder. The 4 years of Sankara's rule were, and still are, a huge inspiration to African comrades. Many even say that Ibrahim Traoré of today is a reincarnation of Thomas Sankara. In number 5 is Samuel Doe. Samuel Doe came to power in a 1980 coup in Liberia. Over time, his leadership became harsh and corrupt and characterized by utter disregard for human rights, leading the country into civil war. In September 1990, Doe was captured by rebels, his ears were cut off, Shackles were placed around his legs, and something strange was tied around his glands, as recorded on video. At the end of the recording, Doe was forced to get up, some of his fingers and toes were amputated, and there were attempts to mutilate his middle finger. After 12 hours of torture, Doe was murdered. His corpse had its head shaved and was exhibited naked in the streets of Monrovia with cigarette burns. It was one of the most brutal assassinations in African political history. Next is Melchior Ndadaye. Ndadaye was sworn in as president of Burundi on 10 July 1993. He became Burundi's first democratically elected president and the first from the Hutu majority. In his inaugural address, he promised to create a new Burundi. But within just 3 months, on October 21, 1993, Ndadaye was captured during a military coup, strangled and stabbed 14 times by junior army officers from the Tutsi minority, then buried in a mass grave before being exhumed and given a proper burial. His death triggered a brutal civil war that lasted over 10 years and claimed hundreds of thousands of lives, especially from the Tutsi minority. And next, there is Ibrahim Bare Mainasara. Mainasara seized power in Niger on January 27, 1996, through a military coup. He later held controversial elections to stay in office. On 9 April 1999, Mainasara was ambushed and shot to death by soldiers, reportedly members of the Presidential Guard, during an attempted coup at the airport in the capital city of Niamey as he was going to board a helicopter. This happened while he was reportedly attempting to flee the country. No one has really been held accountable since. Number 8 on the list is Laurent Désiré Kabila. Kabila was the leader of a rebellion that overthrew President Mobutu Sese Seko of Zaire in May 1997. He subsequently became president and restored the country's former name, Democratic Republic of the Congo. But his rule faced rebellions and conflict. On January 16, 2001, he was shot dead by one of his own bodyguards. He was assassinated in his office inside his official residence at the Palais de Marbre, Kinshasa. It is not clear why he was killed, but experts say it was an act of revenge by Kadogos or young soldiers after Kabila allegedly betrayed them. Others say it's due to international disputes over mineral resources. 9th on the list is Omar Hashi Aden. In 2009, Somalia was in the middle of a dreadful civil war and political instability. Omar Hashi Aden, the country's Minister of Security, was working to push back against al-Shabaab and other Islamist militants. On 18 June 2009, he was killed in the 2009 Beledweyne bombing by a suicide bomber along with 56 others, and 307 were injured. His death was a major blow to the government's fight against terrorism. Finally, the last on this list is Muammar Gaddafi, who was regarded across Africa as a Pan-Africanist but seen as a threat by Western powers. Gaddafi ruled Libya for 42 years, one of Africa's longest ruling leaders. In 2011, during the Arab Spring, Libyans rose up against him. He was eventually captured by rebels in his hometown of Sirte. In their attempt to apprehend him, the National Transitional Council rebels used force that resulted in serious injuries. The events were filmed on a mobile phone. His death left Libya in chaos until today. These leaders didn't just lose their lives, their deaths changed the course of their countries. Some were visionaries, others were controversial, but each assassination left behind pain, unanswered questions, and in many cases, chaos. Let us know in the comments which of these stories surprised you the most, or which of these leaders were from your country. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Africana Historica for more stories from African history.